Hey everybody, welcome back. Let's talk about the latest episode of The Real Housewives of Potomac. That's season 7, episode 14. So go grab a snack, a drink, and get comfortable because we're about to get into it. Okay, so we pick up at this disastrous dinner that we left off last episode where Charrisse and Karen were facing off, but we actually get to look a little bit more into the actual conversation. So Karen is telling Charrisse very clearly to keep her mother's name out of her mouth, and Charrisse starts to insult her, calling her all sorts of B's and F's and all these letter words. They do sit down and they start to talk, and Karen says that it really started one of Candiace's events a few seasons ago, where Charrisse went up to her and said that she went to her mom's funeral to Karen, and it kind of felt like it was said for self-serving purposes, to later use it. So for Charrisse to be like, oh, I went to your mom's funeral, to remind her. So it didn't seem that genuine. So she always kind of had that in the back of her mind. But now at this dinner, hearing her say it back again, it triggered her to the max. I will say what was so infuriating was Gizelle and Robyn being there cheerleading with their pom-poms, telling Karen that she was being fake and that she was lying. And Karen, she's going full force, and she tells Charrisse what she thinks. She says that she destroys people's families, that a lot of people in the community know. And then Charrisse, she fights back and says that she's heard a lot of rumors too. And she goes so low and says that she's heard that Karen was going to rehab and that she was taken out. And once again, bringing up the rumor of sleeping with that man, to which Candiace made sure not to say a word, because y'all remember she got in trouble last time for saying it, but Charrisse brought that up again. So they managed to somehow calm down and they stopped talking to each other, and then the conversation takes another turn. Candiace asks Jacqueline how she is, how she's doing, and Jacqueline says that she doesn't really know them like that, so she would rather have a private conversation with Mia and address her one-on-one, which they do. They go into a room and Jacqueline says that what happened between them was unacceptable and that it was taken to a very high level. And Mia, instead of apologizing or backtracking, she says that everything she said was true, that nothing was a lie, and that Jacqueline should own it. Yeah, it did not go well at all. And Jacqueline says that it's over, and she even calls Mia the most disgusting human on the planet. And she says that she has sold her soul. So I don't think this is going to go back to any type of friendship between them. So the next day, some of the girls are going to do some yoga. They're outside in the beach. It's Mexico, it's sunny. Candiace fills Karen in on what happened after dinner because they went in, they had some drinks or whatnot. And Candiace asks Karen, how will she be able to move on? Because that was a pretty big fight. And Karen says that last night really proved that she cannot trust Charrisse whatsoever. And then Candiace even jokes and says if her hands are okay from all the table pounding, because at some point they were both pounding on the table. That was funny. But again, Karen knows how to be cordial and behave herself. That night was just a trigger and she couldn't help it. Charrisse, on the other hand, is very buddy and close to Gizelle right now, and she's telling her that Karen is so fake, that she's so full of herself, that she's done with her, and that she hopes that she doesn't end up in a Mexican jail. And I'm like, Charrisse, you're not gonna do anything to Karen. Please calm down. So like I said, they do some yoga, then they take some time, and then they're all in a sprinter now. And Jacqueline and Mia's body language is so cold. And on the drive, Karen takes the opportunity to ask Robyn, when's the wedding? And Robyn says that it's none of her business. She does not want to address it at all. She tries to change the subject anytime anyone mentions anything regarding the wedding. Then they arrive at their destination. They're in a little river called Cenotes, and apparently it's if you go, it's supposed to bring you good energy, good vibes, and something like that. They all go in except Charrisse. Unfortunately, there's a lot of mosquitoes, so they kind of get off, but they were having fun. Then they head to a restaurant to have some lunch, and I gotta say the food looked great. And while they're eating, Karen asks Ashley and Candiace, how are they doing? What's their friendship? Where do they stand? Only because she did know that Ashley brought Deborah to the event. And then Ashley said that she felt like Candiace should know, and that's why she brought Deborah to tell her what happened. And I gotta say, guys, Candiace has matured a lot. She very calmly, very reserved, and very poised, she said to Ashley, she told her that she feels like because of Ashley's issues in her past relationship, she projects a lot of those issues into other people's relationships. And maybe that's why she thought that it was an issue with Candiace and Chris. And you guys, that conversation being so calm and like so collected, I feel like that's what made it work. Because Ashley even apologizes. And Candiace says that, it feels like every time they are in a better place, like they move one step forward but they take two backward. And Ashley actually admits to having some resentment because of all the things that Candiace has done in the past. And I feel like if they would have started screaming or insulting each other, none of this would have been said. So I really like that they were able to express that to one another, and I feel like they made a little bit of progress. So then they head back to the hotel, and I'm looking at Ashley like with a little side eye because she told Charrisse that she was proud of her for standing up to Karen. That was confusing. And then Charrisse says that when her dad died, Karen only sent her about a sentence of a text. But Karen, before the episode aired on TV, went on Instagram and she posted the actual message, which was quite long, very thoughtful, and very nice, proving that Charrisse is a liar. It's not the first time we know that she's a liar. Remember when she said that she didn't have to hold back Robyn? Well, we clearly saw that she did. So yeah, Charrisse has no credibility at this point. And then they are now at dinner. Again, they're having a little good time. Ashley again asks Robyn about the wedding, and Robyn says that she doesn't even want a wedding. It's just so weird the way that she talks about it. I've never heard anybody talk about a wedding like this, except for anyone who doesn't want to get married or is being forced to stay on the show, in my opinion. But she tells her that somebody did come to measure their suits, and because Robyn's brother-in-law is getting married in Jamaica, they're going to take the opportunity to get married the next day right there in Jamaica. But it's only going to be the four of them, Robyn, Juan, and the two boys. And they all agree that they should at least throw Robyn a bachelorette party. So like I said, the conversation was pretty light until here comes messy, shady Gizelle. And she starts to defend Charrisse. And she is talking to Karen and to everybody else and saying that Charrisse is honest and amazing. And she even goes as far as to say that Charrisse is the Queen of Potomac. This is where I knew Gizelle lost her mind. I mean, really calling Charrisse the Queen of Potomac, that's quite a stretch. But Karen is really bothered because she knows exactly what Gizelle is doing. The only reason she's saying this is to get under her skin. And Karen tells her that because it involves her, she needs to stop. There is nothing else to discuss. And then here jumps Robyn because, she doesn't want to talk about her own things like the wedding, but she does want to jump into everybody else's business and says that Karen is not off limits. She's like, you're not off limits. The behavior you displayed last night is not what you say that you are. And then she says that it was so rude for Karen to flip a sincere gesture that Charrisse did about her grief, and that's where Karen puts her to a stop and tells her do not discuss that again, because to Karen, her grief equals her mother, which is totally understandable. And then Charrisse jumps in and starts, claiming that she created the group, that she created the show. And then Karen said, but I wasn't in that group that you wanted the show to be. So then Charrisse says, exactly, so you should be thankful, this and that. And again, Robyn keeps telling Karen, people will one day see you for who you really are. She keeps saying that over and over again. And then she even says that all that Karen is a BSer. Then this is what I actually found really interesting as well. Karen said that it's not nice that Karen is just being plain mean to not have Charrisse around in events. And that's where I was like, excuse me, Robyn, you're talking about somebody being mean to exclude someone else? That's exactly what you did. You were mean to Wendy and you didn't include her in family day. So I don't even know why she's talking. It's really frustrating. Now, in the group chat, Karen did apologize to the group for that behavior because she admits that it was, quite erratic the way she got up and everything. And Robyn says, why are you apologizing to the group and not to Charrisse? And that's where Candiace stepped in, and I'm really glad she did, and said, wait a minute, this reminds me of Wendy being thrown a drink at her face. Mia apologized to all of y'all, but she didn't apologize to Wendy directly. And Mia says that she didn't apologize because she wasn't sorry. And then that's when I was like, oh my God, this woman, Mia, still doesn't understand that what she did was wrong. And Wendy, she steps in and they start going at it. And she's basically saying that Wendy needs to apologize for what she said, that she clearly missed the memo. But then Wendy snaps back and says, wait a minute, you missed the memo of being a friend, because if you can't even be a friend to your friend of 30 years, what can we all expect from you? But then really passive aggressively, Mia does apologize. I'll give it to her. She did say that she was wrong for throwing the drink, but she still wants Wendy to apologize for what she said, even though what she said was totally true, which we now know. Wendy makes it very clear that she could have thrown a drink back at her. But the reason she didn't is because she has way much more to lose than Mia. And then that's when Mia starts to get up and again starts to insult Wendy if she has a business, if this and that. But I don't even know why Mia is saying all this, because if anybody has been keeping up on social media, we now know that Mia wasn't even the owner of the joint chiropractic. Like, she was a part owner, and now they're having this whole big issue with the family. That's a separate thing though. But yeah, Mia wasn't taking it easy at Wendy at all. And it's very clear that she's bothered by Wendy. I don't know why, but Wendy, like, she's defending herself, and I'll give it up to her, because she figures that she knows that Gizelle's not going to do it, because even right there, Gizelle started to say, little nasty comments about her. So she's got to do it herself. And then, you guys, that's where the episode ends. Really good episode. Next week will be really interesting because Karen is tired of Robyn and she's going to expose her. And it's going to be really good. I cannot wait for next week. But this episode, like I said, I liked it. I enjoyed it. What did you guys think about it? What did you think about Karen and Charrisse? And what do you think about Mia and Wendy once again fighting? Let me know in the comments. Please don't forget to like, subscribe. I'll catch you guys next time. You have a good one. Bye.